Hello. I seem to be losing. And it's nothing cataclysmic, nothing that is unchangeable, but it's consistent. And sometimes I'll be able to eke out a victory, but it's typically bulldozed over by the next set of losses. And this outlook, I know, is, not ideal, because your baseline becomes inadequate, It's unsatisfactory. So, you change your baseline. And I could do that. But there's hope. And that's what I hold on to. That maybe I can change things, not in just hoping to get some victories, but to actually improving and being able to consistently get wins. That's what I think people are always looking for. And this can be applied to pretty much every aspect of life, of whatever is challenging you. And my challenges aren't gonna permanently change me if I continue losing. It's just another loss. But there is always going to be that desire to win. And I guess if you look at it with gambling, that's kind of how casinos work. They get you into thinking that you can win, but that is a rigged game. But there are other aspects of life that you absolutely can, with enough practice and allowing yourself to be changed by the experience and come out better for it. And there are aspects of my life in which I am able to consistently win, but there's always going to be that desire for more, that insatiable greed that comes with the human psyche. And you may think whoa, I'm not a greedy person. I'm not, trying to get my next $1 billion. It's a smaller kind of greed. It's evolutionarily, it's fair to have that desire for more and for consistency. Because things that were once satisfactory are no longer. You can see this in the number go up effect, as I've called it, where I used to absolutely love clicker games, idle games, number go up games. And the reason being just because number go up. And you always want it to go up. I'm sure there might be some people out there who are happy with what they have and are able to consistently fight off that greed. But there is also some legitimacy to that greed, because if you're gonna sit at I guess if you're to look at it from a purely Maslow's hierarchy of needs perspective, if you're sitting there at the third layer and you're never looking for any more, then you're never going to reach self-actualization. And that's just from a psych standpoint. But from a basic human needs standpoint, there's always to have food consistently and a place to live consistently. Those are things that you should want to attain, because that gives you comfort in your life, and your brain, it wants that, and so it will do that. And that's why the greed exists. But now, people in America mostly have that. And so the greed changes its sights into something else. Something where you start wanting to win in other aspects of not just quelling your hunger or thirst or to get out of the elements, but to win in social dynamics and monetarily and in other forms. You're always going to be wanting to win. That's, why we pursue it, is that greed. And I've just been losing. And that's the perspective that I have of it. But if you look at it at a basic level of me being clothed, fed, and housed for all of my life, I'd say I'd be winning, right? But you're always going to have to fight that desire for more. And there's a lot of things that you have to fight, like desire-wise. You're always going to have desire. I mean, one of the Buddhist things is like desire leads to suffering. And that's kind of true, because your desire leads you to either fulfillment in obtaining the thing you desire, or inadequacy of not. But that fulfillment is false, because it goes away eventually, and you'll start looking for other things. You'll start desiring more. And there's no need to kill the desire. Desiring is plenty of fun. But you just gotta be mindful of all the things, of the desires, and of moderation. It's really easy to just let go and live an unmoderated life and destroy your brain. And it eats at your time too. And I kind of value my time, so I try and live a life of moderation. That's kind of how you struggle against desire. And the struggle can be fun sometimes, although that kind of does sound like an oxymoron, or just, inherently wrong. But there's, I don't know, there's some sort of fight that you have to be able to do. And, whenever you are able to see improvement, I guess, in your moderation, that's just another small victory that you're looking for, because it's, once again, something you desire. But I personally think it's a good desire. Buddhists can think otherwise, as all desires being suffering, but I'm just not with that. I think moderation is the whole thing. Everyone's trying to live at some sort of equilibrium of their physicality, of their muscles, of the chemicals within their brains that lets them know how happy they are, and just your skin wrapping around all your insides, all your viscera, just to hold it together at an equilibrium. There's beauty in that fight, and something inherently very human with that fight. So keep fighting, yo. Anyways, toodles.